What if you were given everything you ever dreamed of, only to realize you had lost the one thing that truly mattered? This is the story of a father, his two sons, and a love so powerful it defies reason, a story that has inspired millions for centuries. Once upon a time, there was a man of great wealth, known not for his riches, but for his kindness. He had two sons, both dear to his heart but vastly different in their ways. The elder son was loyal, hard-working, and dutiful, while the younger one was restless, always yearning for something more. One day, the younger son came to his father with a bold and shocking request. "Father, give me my share of the inheritance now. I don't want to wait until you're gone." The words stung, but the father, with a heavy heart, granted his son's wish. He divided his wealth, giving the younger son his portion, and watched as he packed his belongings and left. At first, life was everything the young man had imagined. He traveled to far-off lands, indulging in luxury and pleasures. With money in his pocket, he thought he had found freedom. But as the months turned into years, his wealth ran dry. His so-called friends disappeared, and he found himself utterly alone. Then, famine struck the land. With no money, no home, and no hope, he was forced to take the only work he could find, feeding pigs on a distant farm. Hunger gnawed at him so fiercely that he envied the scraps the pigs ate. In his lowest moment, he sat in the mud and wept, haunted by memories of his father's house, where even the servants lived in comfort. And then a thought pierced through his despair. "I'll return to my father," he decided, "not as a son, but as a servant. At least I'll have food to eat." With trembling steps, he began the long journey home, rehearsing his apology with every step. "Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son." Meanwhile, the father, who had been watching the horizon every day since his son's departure, saw a figure approaching in the distance. His heart leapt with recognition. He didn't wait. He ran, his arms outstretched, tears streaming down his face. When the son saw his father running toward him, he fell to his knees, his rehearsed apology spilling from his lips. But before he could finish, the father pulled him into a tight embrace. "My son," he cried, "you were lost, but now you are found." The father called to his servants, "Bring the finest robe and put it on him. Place a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Prepare a feast, for we are going to celebrate." And so the household rejoiced, for the son who was thought to be lost had returned. But not everyone was rejoicing. The elder son, hearing the sound of celebration, grew angry. He confronted his father, saying, "I've served you faithfully for years, yet you've never thrown a party for me, but for this son of yours who squandered your wealth you celebrate?" The father placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "My son, everything I have is yours, but today we must rejoice. Your brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." This story isn't just about a family long ago. It's about us. It's about the mistakes we make, the love we seek, and the forgiveness that waits for us when we turn back. Because no matter how far we wander, there is a Father who runs to meet us, arms wide open.